was hoping to hear more from Miriam. The last program we ended with value added and agro processing. So when we moved to technology, I was hoping Miriam would have jumped in. Yes, because we have a lot of spoilage. We ended the program with that. It was mentioned that persons they don't have the correct transport to transport from Perico, and well, Mahaica wasn't mentioned, but also from Mahaica. And sometimes they transport during the day and during the hot sun when it's heated. It's not the best. And then when they come to the market now, they have a time period to sell. So if they don't sell, I have a cousin who experiences that. He brings his produce from Wakenham to Perico, and if it doesn't go by midday 1 o'clock, he has to drop his price if he wants to get it sell. So the persons from town, they go to Perico at that time and they buy at a cheaper price, and then they come back to town and they sell. So there's no storage place. Yes, we need the roads, the access roads. Yes, we need that, but you also need the bonds where they can actually store the produce there. Mariana was really hoping you would jump in with that.
Terms of, I was told of that same thing, where farmers, instead of when they have okay, when they have the surplus of the produce, rather than having to pay excess for labor to harvest that produce, take to the market to lose, they tend to indeed put back into the soil, right? Because they say, it doesn't make sense paying a whole lot for labor to harvest when the price is right. Now, in that case, is where preservation comes in. And that is where instead of them losing money for that produce that will go to the market and possibly spoil, there is where they can now, if we have proper facilities right within the irrigation reach or wherever, they can now harvest that and take it there for preservation purposes. So rather than seeing it as a loss in finances, they will gain more. Because when you do value
Hmm.
added to that product now, you have a higher income, a higher return on that product instead of having a loss in the produce itself.
Probably
I was
had
looking
mostly like 4 or 5 other points to make, to be honest, because when it comes to the
Make them
opportunities
know,
in
make them
agriculture,
know,
it
make
starts
them
from
know.
production all all the way to consumption. To be honest, I mean, we
Make
talk
them
about the
know,
finance.
make
I
them
think you
know.
guys did an excellent job. To be honest, sure, no problem. One of the things I was going to talk about next until it run out of time is one of the things in Guyana is we are big in livestock, and especially when it comes to broilers. To be honest, if you read our budget speech for the year 2021, there's actually been an increase in the amount of broilers producers for that year. So it's been an increase regarding that, and with more and more broilers in the country, that means there'll be more and more demand for feed. And in Guyana, we don't produce or grow the raw materials to actually make the feed itself, which is the corn and the soya, the soybeans, for example, two primary ingredients. What we do in Guyana is we would import those particular ingredients, whether from Belize or whatever country, and then we would mix it
Mm.
ourselves. So one of the largest feed producers in Guyana is Bounty, and stuff like that Bounty would usually do. They would mix that particular feed. So whoever could actually tap into that area and start growing these corn and soybeans successfully is tapping into a multi-million dollar, we even argue billion-dollar industry, to be honest, regarding feed.
Accordingly.
Yeah,
Hear
yeah,
what?
sure, no problem.
When you mentioned the stock the waste that is left on the land, you know what came to mind right away? There's actually a garbage bin set aside for that here in Swiss called compost. So when you
Oh,
peel your
mm, mm,
green
mm,
vegetable, whatever your green or even oranges, is a separate bin for
mm,
that. So that compost now is harvested. They come once a week and they carry away that separate and goes back to the farmers. So that's what you're talking
correct.
about.
Sector. And this is the same I see with, areas like finance, where, you go to university and you study finance and accounting and you think you're only going to work in a bank or the Ministry of Finance. But really there could be persons who are focused on working with the agriculture industry. For example, in my local church, I have supported several farmers to develop their business plan. And when you're going in for a loan, it's also understanding that agriculture loans should be cyclical and you shouldn't have things like monthly payback periods because sometimes your crops are not reaped in the first month or the second month. So you'd even need that kind of unique expertise within the finance industry.
One of the things I would have learned at university is that some, I'm not sure if they still do it, but what the farmers do in order to cut the loss when there is things like uh, when the demand, when there is a drop in the demand for the produce, what they do is to
Mm.
plow back into the soil those most of the produce that they have there instead of, because if you bring it to the market, you're actually going to end up at a loss, and so they
Mm.
plow it back into, and so it adds to what Chevron was saying in relation to the composting, right? So it's what we refer to as green manure, and so
Mm.
we plug that back into the soil. But I'm not sure how much of that is being done now, or if there's an alternative to the excess produce that we are getting.
If I can step in at this point, I'd just like to give some emphasis on that situation there. One of the major problems we have in is marketing. Marketing is a serious thing because farmers have been planting and they have no place which they, like they have used to have GMC, they have no place which they can go and sell their things and get price rate or get the things off of their hands if there's a glut in the market. I have been suffering a lot in the Northwest when I'm planting like peanuts and this type of thing. I used to have to depend on the boat. If the boat doesn't come, you left with the mortars or the huskers, paying you little or nothing. So I filed on a plan. When I was grading out, when I was drying my peanuts, I used to take out the longest one because I used to do AK-62 them. The longest one I used to take out and I patch myself, and the rest I used to convert to make my own peanut butter, and I didn't used to have hands in order to get it off. You see, in the situations now, wearing that right now, I mean, where I'm at Mobley City now, I have been planting things, and when I do not have in market, I do things like this. This is what I'm doing. This is we see here now. Yeah, this is lime production
Wow.
that I'm doing. I'm experimenting. I'm processing it, and this is the market I have for limes and for lemons, and these are these things I've been doing. I would like to do a lot of value
Excellent.
added because I find that when you have your stocks, you can't get it out. You got to go on a plan B. So I go for very
Yeah.
much for value added. Rotating. I like to do crop rotation. I didn't like this fertilizing thing. I believe in crop rotation because I like organic. You understand? I've been trying my best to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
situation. I think Nabi might be able to see me also several times going into the office. They're trying to get some ginger. For the longest while, fighting to get some ginger, ginger cultivating, but I'm not getting any help from the people that are on the ground. Yeah? I am
Shaban,
having a
you
project
bite the
that's
We,
system.
going. I have a, huh? I have a project that I've been
we,
going with sub cultivation. A very few times I see the field staff coming in, and then I'm not. I got to do my own experiment to get my things.
someone mentioned culture earlier. I think it was on the program. I that's what you were talking about there.
Yeah.
The culture needs to change. I think even the last program we mentioned forming think tanks and focus groups and so on to really help people what is needed. And we channel the monies in that direction. Yes, we see monies are given out for farmers in this area, but it's the same thing. They're repeating and repeating. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the level of innovation, Nairon or Marianne, the level of innovation that is actually going. I remember Aubrey speaking last week about attracting more youths using drones. It's the first time I actually heard you can use drones in farming, whether to spray the fields or anything else. And youths, that's their world, technology. So you tell a youth come you can farm with a drone or the drone can assist you in farming. I'm sure they're gonna run to it. So we really need to look at where we're going, and really develop, like Julia said, policies. I would think we should have these focus groups. I don't know. We're saying there's a job shortage and market shortage, but persons are out there, and they shouldn't only come and work in the agri ministry or as a visitation officer only, but we want officers who can come and actually implement change. I think Nairon mentioned going overseas and seeing what's done in Abu Dhabi or Netherlands and so on. It just needs to be expanded. And I don't know. We're just chatting here. We're
I
just
know.
chatting here.
Level. I think that trade fairs allow us to see what others are doing. So government should also be creating a platform, either to bring the trade fairs to Guyana or for us to go. For example, when Neil showed that lime juice is, for me, he's showing that every farm should have a little place where they do value added for the times when they can't ship out. But what I'm seeing out of lime juice is there's also the lime without any sugar or anything in it, because they actually sell
Right.
it here and they're marketing it in Iran as in a yellow bottle with a green cork. So immediately you think of a lemon because it's two types of colors of green. And you
Yeah.
know us, we always seasoning our meat with our washing our meat with our lemon or lime juice. So here I don't have to squeeze the lime or the lemon. They already squeeze it and bottled it for me. So cooking is made
Yeah.
easy. So I'm just seeing all these opportunities. I'm also seeing products. But I know Nyron had a long list of things he wanted to chat on. So tell us, Nyron, what else on that notepad?
I think we get enough material here for the unscripted part.
I
Honestly,
agree, Aaron. I
And,
agree. I agree. See, I hope the authorities are listening.
Well, I hope that this go to the right forum, because another thing also, the shifts of this paradigm with technology. The young people that are coming up now, they're aware of this technological aspect of it. So you have to carry this technology into the schools. And I think that every interior
Yeah,
location should have a school farm. You're talking
there
about
you
then
go.
getting employment in the area and what have you. If you have a school farm, at least you can launch or plant a seed. Every location have the own potential of what type of crops they can develop within that area. And if the
yeah,
technology is in that area, they can maximize on it, get employment for the people that are in there by what they have the exposure to this type of thing. Each school farm should have and there should be competitions. Best school one farm against another farm, this type of thing, just to raise the standards of situation. You see, that's already stands of the standards of it.
That age limit is where you can have young people now try to pull young people in line with what you're doing that have the interest in agriculture and what you're doing. So when time to do a presentation in terms of funding and so on, you have them go forward on your behalf as a whole to assist in that need that you may have. Because while they look at you, they're looking at your physical and saying that you're old and so on. If you have young people the same desire as you and the same interests and so on around, and they have the know-how in terms of technology and the other aspects of marketing and so on, then you can have them surround you to give you more advice and so on. So you're gaining and they're gaining from your experiences, and they will be able to make representation on behalf of what you may be putting forward to get funding and the vision you may have.
So finding a
That
mechanism where you combine the two, and so you go into the bank, one person has the expertise on, like, let's say the marketing and the value added. The other person, like Neil, is bringing the actual ownership of the land, the crop, and so forth. But together you're forming a kind of a conglomerate. But you see, our legal system is not that flexible. And sometimes even us, our culture is winner takes all. Whereas in Europe, you see a lot more partnerships. You even see husbands and wives
Collaboration.
divorced and they're still managing a successful business together. In our culture, when you separate, everything done. You split the family, the house, everybody. But here you see a different culture. And I'm just making that to reference the fact that we need maybe new models of contracting, and business partnerships that bring people along, because Neil has
That notes. So we'll let you know during the August when we'll air this one.